Hey everyone, it's Spurs Rail 96 here. Welcome to the first Train Sim World livestream of 2026. It's been quite a long time since I did a live stream on the channel. I think the last time, funny enough, I did a live stream was taking a first look at the West Coast. No, was it the West Coast main line? No, it wasn't actually. I think it was a German. The 294 shunting locomotive. So it's good to be back, streaming once again. For today's live stream, the first one of the year, as I said, we'll be taking a look at the recently released Avanti West Coast Class 805 Evero BIMO multiple unit. This comes from the third-party developer All Aboard Studios, which is their second piece of content they have released within the Train Sim World 6 lifecycle. Their first route in question was this route right at the bottom, towards the bottom, the West Coast Main Line, Birmingham to Crewe. And this is their first Loco add-on DLC. So we're going to take a look at it. On not only the West Coast Main Line South, which is its primary route as far as gameplay is concerned, but also the West Coast Main Line, Birmingham New Street to Crewe. See if that route is running a little bit smoother compared to the last time I looked at it, which wasn't very good from what I can recall. So we're going to go on to the journey mode, which of course this Evero multiple unit has on the West Coast Main Line South. As you can see, I've done the two tutorials which I put up as a video on the channel within the last 24-48 hours. So we're going to do capital departures, and we're going to do the first service on the journey mode. Train 1 Delta 83, which goes from London Euston to Holyhead, but of course taking the service as far as Milton Keynes Central. So let's get into it and see what this familiar looking multiple unit is like in Train Sim World 6 and see if it's any good, basically. Just let it load in a minute. Just let it do its thing. There we go. I'll just take a look at the chat before we get into the game itself. Chris, hey, how are you? Nice to see you. That is correct. We are taking a look at the Class 805, and indeed on the West Coast Main Line South. So you get a single 5-coach unit, and you can operate services in two formations, either as a single 5-coach unit or a 10-coach train. And when I say a 10-coach, I don't just mean a single 10-coach formation. It's basically two sets of 5 connected together, which is quite nice to see on the West Coast Main Line. So we'll just set this multiple unit up here for departure. Set the lights to the... I presume the dimmed position is the most appropriate form of lighting. Got the GSMR radio, which has the usual bells and whistles in Train Sim World, increasing the volume, contacting the signaller, turning it on and off. We'll unlock the doors. Can hear the doors opening there. Before I do go any further, I will just turn on the motion blur to aid the stream's performance. Is there anything else I need to do? Oh yeah, the audio. I always have to do this. Internal passenger noise, I'll turn that off. That drives me insane. The cab announcements, I'll turn that off as it's not realistic. I don't think onboard announcements works on the West Coast Mainline South because the route doesn't have any sort of announcements, right? I'll turn it off either way, just so just in case the game has any problems. Okay, so let's check out the internal camera view. So you got head out right, head out left. What else is there? The TMS screen. So you can. Oh wow, that's dark, all right. Wow. The door selector. No, that doesn't work. The home button, I presume, is what we're on. The brightness level, that does work. So you can whack the brightness up to level 5. The volume, what's that for then? I presume that's just for the screen making button noises or something. You've got a key code here. That's a nice touch. What's this here? Auto announce, traction status. Oh yeah. So I imagine when the train is going about 100 odd miles per hour, I imagine you'll see the live stats of the traction motors at work. I'll put that to the test. Eco driving. Oh, that doesn't do anything. Engine status. Event doesn't do anything. Brake status. Yeah, it does. So let's just adjust the brakes. I presume it's when it's released, maybe. Doesn't seem to be changing the numbers there. The pantograph selection switch. Okay. I don't want to mess about too much in case I break it. The CH valve, that doesn't do anything. Journey doesn't do anything. Saloon status, that doesn't do anything. Dual mode doesn't do anything. Okay. Next stop reminder. Well, do we need that? No, I suppose we don't. That's obviously for the crew, isn't it? As well as the driver. So I would have liked to have seen a bit more. What's the word? Interactability. If that even is a word. With these screens, and also the passenger alarm. That isn't portrayed either, which is a bit of a shame, really, because I think All Aboard Studios said in their build-up to this multiple unit launching that they got some brand new sounds from a Hitachi, 8300 set, which from which depot or train operating company, I have no idea. But it's a shame that these screens don't work to a degree. Even just having like a picture of like the inside, it doesn't have to be live, but seeing what's going on throughout the train. Yeah, a little bit gutted, but there are differences. Obviously, on the 802, for example, there would be a huge whacking big physical dial, whereas with the 805 you don't have that. You have a digital display. You've got the wipers here. They do work. They do work, don't they? They do work, right? Yep, the wipers work. Okay, so just double checking. I'll turn them off. What other views have you got? The TMS screen, the ETCS screen literally does nothing. It's got the time and the speed, and that's it. Nothing else. Surprised there's no specific camera view for the back wall here. You can turn on your safety systems. So ETCS, SDO isolation switch, AWS, TPWS, Vigilance, and DSD.
AWS operational.
So at least safety systems work. So right, let's take a look outside at Euston. Look at this tremendous multiple unit. The 800 in Train Sim World, I've always liked to have a play with. They're much better to experience in virtual, in the virtual world than in real life. Unfortunately, they look great. They look fantastic in this livery, Avanti West Coast livery. There's a little bit of branding on the inside as well, which I do appreciate. We'll take a look at the interiors when we've arrived eventually at Milton Keynes. So the destination displays on the outside work. Got the pantograph up there. Yeah, but I think the strongest elements, let's say, of Avanti West Coast is by far their livery. Whoever designed their livery is a genius. I just really like it. It's bold, it's different. You can see the further we get into Euston, we've got another set to make a 10-coach train. So let's lock the doors. We'll get rocking and rolling. Hey Andrew, nice to see you. Hope you're well. You can't slow the train down. Ooh, that's a difficult one. It depends which kind of train you're using, I suppose, Andrew. Because sometimes trains have either a single handle for the power and braking, or individual handles. So if you're on controller, then I'm on a single handle. You would use the R2 for the acceleration and the R1 for braking. And if it was on a different set of if it was separate power or brake handles, then again, it depends what kind of train you're using. But for braking, I imagine if it was a separate brake handle, I would use L1. It's the same on the PlayStation 4 controller, isn't it? Yeah. So right, let's get going, because we'll be hideously late. Well, we are going to be, so let's skedaddle out of here. Nice gentle getaway, that is good. Kind of realistic, I'll say. Whoa, listen to that thing sing. Oh, those sounds in electric mode and under full power, that sounds pretty good, I'm not going to lie. All aboard studios didn't specifically say what areas of the train they've got new sounds for, but I imagine pulling out of Euston or any station in electric mode under full power, they've captured the sounds very well. There's a Pendolino stuck at signals because of me. Dawdling about, having a look around the cab. So we got just one and only stop, which is Milton Keynes Central. You can operate a very rare selection of services, I think it's like 4 or 5 on this route with this train, stopping at Watford too, if you want to drag the journey out for a little bit longer. what's interesting about this timetable in particular, it's a 2025 variant, so it's last year's timetable, and I think, judging by the press release, I think it was meant to be 1,000 or 2,000 services. 1,000 of them will be playable. Now, I don't have everything installed. I don't have like the all of the freight packs installed. I've chosen to take a few of them out of the of this route and the West Coast Main Line Birmingham to Crewe, so it runs a little bit smoother. But one thing I've noticed in particular is the London Overground has more services, I think, than the original. With the 710 multiple unit on the original timetable for this route, I think it had in the region of, I'm going to say, 82 to 84 services. But of course, that had weirdly 2 different formations, which surprised me. One single 4-coach unit and a 5-coach unit. So I'm guessing that they've based all the board studios have bundled those 2 sets of services together. So when you look at the timetable, 2025 timetable for London Overground services, obviously there's a lot more than was previously, and I think you can just operate a single 4-coach London Overground unit on this timetable. The Bakerloo line has taken a bit of a hit in terms of the amount of playable services you can do. Originally, I think you could do like, I don't know, probably over 230 services, either going in and out of Stonebridge Park Depot, operating services from Harrow and Wealdstone to Queen's Park, and doing empty stock moves from to the lone siding at Harrow and Wealdstone, and then bring it into service on the other platform. The AI have taken over those duties, so all of the playable London Underground services that you could do on the original map, you can't do anymore. At least you can't select it from the timetable menu. The AI conducts those passenger operations, except 16, I think, services that all the board studios have selected to be playable from the 1972 Mark tube stock in the 2025 timetable menu. Well, I need to gain speed here. Too busy yapping, not concentrating. But a funny thing I found out, I haven't played this game for over 2 months, and when I fired the West Coast Main Line back up, just to have a check, see if everything's all tickety-boo, one thing I found that was sneakily added to the original timetable for this route. You can now run London Overground services with the Class 378 London Overground Electrostar. From, if you own the what's it called? The London Overground. I call it the North London line, but I forget what the actual name of it's called. Someone will know, I'm sure. But yeah, it was quite sneaky of Dovetail or the third-party developer who made the London Overground North London line to sneak that into the timetable. Whether it was by accident or I don't know, just sneaked it in as a, I don't know, late Christmas gift or something via an update. But yeah, nice surprise. Hello, Sophie. Hey, how are you? Nice to see you. Hope you're well. Oh, you're fine, Andrew. Oh, good. I'm glad you've sorted the problem. Danut, me, Myasco. I don't know how you say your name. Hope you're well. Can you go to the main menu? Not at the moment. When I finished this service, we will. Well, I will go to the main menu and we'll take a look at the timetable screen and just give you a little tour of at least what I've got installed and how things are looking with regards to numbers. I think this unit has. I don't actually know the actual service count number. I think this has 36 or 35 services specifically for the West Coast Main Line south. Just passing Wembley Stadium. But yeah, I mean, if this multiple unit feels very similar to, well, the other 800 class trains that we've got in the game. Obviously there are some differentiations in, you know, the liveries, the interior, the cab. Sounds obviously is something that you'd immediately notice. I just would have thought that because, you know, it's a little bit pricey than say a normal loco add-on, you think, well, maybe they've not just touched up in the cab and the interior and the livery and the timetables. You think there'll be more like things to do in the cab, more elements that would enhance your experience. But it's a little bit same old, it's certainly as far as these screens go, I'm afraid. But you can see there on the display it says where we're going, which is Holyhead. But obviously in the game you can't go to Holyhead, because in the game Holyhead doesn't exist. This is actually the first time I've ever ran this new timetable, and so far it's smoother than I expected, I have to say. But of course, take that with a pinch of salt, because I haven't got all of the freight layers installed. I've only got, I think it was one of the Skyhook games like freight packs that adds quite a bit more freight into the mix. That is a pack I don't have. I think it's like intermodal or something like that. The container stacks, basically, container trains. I don't have that installed because I don't fancy it really, to be honest with you. But we've got 37 miles to go to Milton Keynes Central, and then once we've arrived at Milton Keynes Central, unless the AI takes over and runs away with the train, I will take a look at the passenger interiors and see if that's up to scratch. Hey Mark Moss, nice to see you, hope you're well. I want you to train spot. Ah, well, I can't do that, I'm afraid. I've got down it. I've got a dedicated video series that is more of an ASMR thing, but it's a train spotting as well, where I pan the camera in a specific location, looking at the entirety of a busy mainline station or a station that I like, basically, and, you know, sees the AI conducting the timetable, you know. So if it's a early morning period, you know, you see the different trains scuttling in and out of the station. I think one of my most popular ones I did was London Victoria way back. So if you want to look at, you know, trains trundling in and out of stations, then check out my Train Sim World ASMR playlist. It has a variety of different locations for you to see the trains trundling in and out of the locations I've chosen to, well, I suppose, train spot. Another interesting element of this timetable that I forgot to mention is apparently there is 12 coach class 350s that you can now operate on this timetable. To be honest, I haven't seen any 12 coach 350 units trundling about from what I can tell so far. It wasn't in any of the tutorials or the introduction. You couldn't even select specific like unit lengths in the timetable menu. There are more variants of the 350 now running about on the West Coast Mainline South, whereas before you had just the 350-1. Now you've got the 350-1, 2 and 3. But you don't have the British Transport Police livery for some reason on this timetable. Maybe it was a license thing, I don't know. Yeah, couldn't have picked a better day weather-wise for the first service in timetable mode, in the journey mode I should say. I think there was an overground train I heard. No. Oh yeah, there was one, yeah, just about to leave. Going back to Euston. What time we're due in? We're due in at 9:32. We don't have to stop at Watford, but I've got a terrible feeling we might have to come to a halt at some point, because I can see a red signal in, not in the distance, but indicated on the HUD there. That container train you've just seen there, that is just by default. You know, container trains that we've always seen in Trains World, not from the container pack thing that Skyhook released, or Dovetail for that matter. But it feels good. I mean, you know, judging by the feedback from the controller, it rides pretty smoothly. I think this has the updated suspension physics, and you can certainly see that in action when you pan the camera around the front of the train when it's you know, going over, you know, tight curves, or going round tight curves I should say. I don't does this train have a no, this train doesn't have tilting mechanicals, does it? No, only the Pendolino does. It'll be quite fascinating to see what a Pendolino replacement could look like. Will that have to have tilting technology, won't it? Otherwise this won't have a prayer of keeping up with you know, a normal timetable of a Pendolino, will it? I will take a look at the chat. I'm terribly bad at looking at the chat. I do apologise. So if you unfortunately these engines start up sound even with the doors open, they messed that up. I think you're right about that. Yeah, I'm not sure if they've just forgotten to put in the sounds of, you know, the diesel engines firing into life, or it's just too quiet. But I noticed that. I even had a door open when I was doing a tutorial, you know, to switch the unit from electric mode to diesel mode, and I was struggling to hear it fire up, even when, like I said, with the door open. But maybe if you pan the camera next to the where the diesel engines are located, maybe you could hear it fire up. I'm not sure. Got 25 miles to go to Milton Keynes Central. How far are we from Watford? Oh, up to Apsley. Okay, so we're probably way past Watford by now. Yeah, way past Watford. So busy talking, I'm like, wait, forgetting where I am. Oh well. I haven't tried any of the scenarios yet. There is one scenario in particular I do want to do. I will make a video of that this weekend if I've got time. And that is once again a football related scenario. No, I'm afraid not. Donut. Well, won't be a train spotting in the street today. That's why I've got, like I said, a dedicated video series. I mean, I don't even know how many there is. More than 10. So, if you want to see, speeding a bit. If you want to, see me train spotting in the game, then check out that playlist. Yeah, 10 plus hours of video there for you to enjoy or listen to. Can I just have it on in the background? Very keen to check out the Birmingham to Crewe route. I haven't touched that route since it released 2 or 3 months back. Apparently he's had a lot of updates that have, fixed the route. But as with every update, it may fix some areas, but it may also break some other areas. So we'll wait and see. But I think it's fair to say that a big chunk of those issues are probably down, lay at the front door of Dovetail rather than all the board studios. It's hard to, if you were to compare, like, this route to the Birmingham to Crewe, I think it would be quite hard to actually see which one's better. I have to say, since this route came out for, Train Sim 05, Dovetail certainly touched it up. It was in a hell of a state when it first came on the scene. I remember it was awful, not even from a performance perspective, but scenery was just ugh. But they've tidied it up, they've made it a bit better, and a lot better in some areas, certainly around the stations in particular. And it's actually a fairly solid route, I have to be honest there. Oh, a bit fast. You can tell I'm rusty on this route. Very rusty indeed. And over the Christmas period, whilst I was away from YouTube, apparently All the Board Studios is making yet another section of the West Coast Main Line. I forget what it was called. It connects the dots, apparently, this route and the Birmingham to Crewe route. What was it? Trent Valley? Was that what it was called? Which, if that is to be the case, that would be the longest, certainly British route in Train Sim World. That will be quite something. Whether that releases this year, next year, is anyone's guess. I haven't looked at the roadmap. I don't think they did one Dovetail this in January. Albeit there's a few days left to go until the end of the month, so you never know. But from what I've heard, there's not been too much as regards to the roadmap side of things. I think they did one of those festive reveal, like advent calendar style events. Yeah, I'm not too bad. Sophie, if I didn't answer that question already. Yeah, I'm not too bad, thanks. Got the usual recipe tonight, biscuits and a cup of tea. I'm sure the tea's very cold by now. 17 miles to go to Milton Keynes Central. I think this multiple unit comes with 5 scenarios. That's more than the usual 3 that Loco add-ons get. All 5 of them, sadly, are specifically for the West Coast Mainline South. It would have been nice to have, changed it up a bit, have 3 scenarios for the West Coast Mainline South, and then 2 for the West Coast Mainline Birmingham to Crewe. But that's just a nitpick. But hopefully, they all run fine. I'm not going to try all of them in this stream. Hell no, that'll take forever. Like I said earlier, the football one in particular, I definitely will try and conquer this weekend. That is, if I can even complete it. Yeah, we're going to be late into Milton Keynes, but I don't think I don't think so. I don't think that's out of the unusual. I think it's rather normal, unfortunately, with Avanti West Coast, which is a shame because I think they've got a fairly decent fleet of trains now. The 805, the 807, and the Pendolino. I'm trying to think of other operating companies that have Class 800s. There's Great Western Railway. There's Avanti West Coast, Trans-Pennine Express. They have some, don't they? What do they call them? Novas, wasn't it? Nova trains. I think Hull trains. They've got some. I swear I heard recently that East Midlands Railway have a batch on the way, or have some in their portfolio. I'm not sure. Yeah, the Class 800 slowly but surely are taking over everything. They're taking over. Oh yeah, and of course can't forget LNER. They've got their Azumas. I wouldn't be at all surprised if we get that East Coast Mainline South from London to Peterborough for TSW 8. I've just got a funny feeling that that's just waiting in the wings. But who knows? Just purely thinking out the top of my head. I've got a speed limit of 90 coming up. What does the horns sound like, says Andrew? Power applied there for a brief second. I'll just start applying a bit of brake. So got a 2-tone horn. That's what it sounds like. could barely hear the horn, or I bet I could barely hear it in my headset. Jeez. Sorry if that was a bit too loud for you all. Didn't expect the running sounds to be so loud at that kind of speed. I suppose it would sound like that up close in real life. We've got over 8 miles to go to Milton Keynes Central. Speed limit will be increasing once again to 110 miles per hour. It's quite good that this service I've picked out is a 10-coach train. Gives me a good idea of how this train at least feels from the controller side of things. I'll try and pick a service on the Birmingham to Crewe that has just a single Class 805 set. I imagine it will feel a little bit quicker to accelerate. Sheep there grazing in the field. This train obviously has a top speed, like most of the high-speed trains these days. They have a limited top speed of 125 miles per hour. I don't actually know what the actual top speed this unit can reach if there was, you know, no limits at all. I imagine it would probably get close to 150, 160 miles per hour. If you want to just take it round the test track on the training centre and max it out, I suppose. Never bothered doing that, to be honest. Could be over 10 minutes late, I'm not so sure. There's a Pendolino having a race with a 350. The horn, as always, is very responsive, so if you want to do a little tap dance with the horn button, you can. What else? The safety systems, yeah, they sound authentic, they work, so that's a good thing. Or at least the ones that I've heard so far on this journey. I better start just easing off the part and reducing speed. Steady. Andrew, again, Somerset Railway, is it worth On PlayStation 4. I imagine so. It's been a fairly long while since I had a PS4. Nearly 6 years ago. Nearly 6 years ago. I imagine it runs okay on the PS4. Obviously the recent let's say versions of the West Somerset Railway is better because it's been completely reworked by a single person at Dovetail. Works absolute miracles. That gentleman, I don't know who his name is, but he did the remaster for the West Somerset Railway, so it's pretty much getting the new skybox, cloud technology, weather system, redid most of the scenery from scratch, brought in I think like a steam era timetable, so it depends which version of Train Sim World you've got. I think if you've got 4, you should be able to acquire the upgraded West Somerset Railway. It looks absolutely fantastic. But even if you don't have that version of the West Somerset Railway, it still runs pretty well, and it's not a bad route to look at either. Alright, what's it like when it gets to braking? Alright. Okay, we've arrived at good old Milton Keynes. Same as it was when I last looked at it. Okay, so we got a platinum medal for that. I don't know if the AI is going to take over that this service. I think it will, won't it? Will it actually? I don't know. I have a terrible feeling it will. I think it's loading the passengers, isn't it? So maybe if I no, let's leave that service and we'll do one going from maybe Crewe to Birmingham or something like that. See if see how it fares on there. But so far, I think it's fairly solid. It's difficult for me to say whether it's worth 14, 15 quid as compared to 12.99. I mean, it's not a massive difference, but it is a difference, isn't it? So, but I'll show you the timetables quickly. So this is the new one that comes with the Evero, or the class 805, and you can see there the total amount of surfaces you can play with is 997. This one has 950, so there's a bit of a difference. And you can use the Pendolino, the 390-1 and the 390-0. This obviously is just an 805. That's 27 actually, not 37. You can see the Bakerloo line there only has 16 to play with, and you've got all the different variants here of the 350. Just 10 services for the freight, 36 for the southern train, and it says 0, but believe me, there's a lot. A lot of services going back and forth from Watford to London. And actually, I'll show you the scenarios. So you get 5 scenarios. Got to find them. Bound for Edinburgh, blocked at Camden, turn back at Watford, Wembley final special. That's what I'm going to definitely do. And Saturday night crawl. A pub crawl, but train style. Good title. And obviously this train does come with a journey mode and 2 tutorials, which is nice to see. Where is it? Birmingham to Crewe. This also gets It says modern timetable, but it should just. I think it'd be better worded on 2025 because 2019's modern still, isn't it? You know, not like decades and decades old, is it? Blimey. With this one, you've got 37 for the 805. The Transport for Wales trains 8. They have a few services. The East Midlands trains one has a couple of empty stop moves. The 390 is 56. Well, for the 390-0, the 390-1 I think has less than 56. The 170 has 34. This has 28. Then you got 23 for the 350-3, 28 for the -1, and 61 for the -2. The 66 has just 9 services. I thought it would have a bit more, but I don't think the route can take probably any more services. The Voyager has 62. That's a lot. More than I thought. This Jubilee makes an appearance doing an empty stop move for whatever reason. And the Flying Scotsman has just 1 service. But we'll take this one out for a spin. I think we'll do an afternoon run. That's going to Stafford. Is it only going to Birmingham? No? None to Birmingham, no? No, that's Oxley. That's an empty stop move. Express. Express. Oh. That's a bit of it. Okay, so most of them are just back and forth from Crewe to Stafford, and only 1 goes to 2, isn't it? That make that 3 actually. But visit Birmingham New Street. Okay. 7:02. Do I really want to do that? I'm just worried of the game falling apart. Basically, I'll set it to July 5/28, just so you can see what's going on. I had a bit of cloud. I mean, it'll be quiet, which is good because then it will run smoother. Well, here's hoping. Andrew, 1999 price wise. Yeah, it's. I think it's a fairly decently priced add-on. I think the price is fair, especially the updated version of the West Somerset Railway. If you look at media shots of the updated or upgraded, I should say, version of the West Somerset Railway, it looks absolutely spectacular. It's probably one of the best looking routes in the game, in my opinion. It's definitely in top 5. There's no doubt about that. I'll just have a bite of my biscuit and a sip of tea a minute. So just give me a second, if you don't mind. Need a top up. Oh, it's better. Oh, we got another 10 coach train. Okay, never mind. If I've got enough time, I might squeeze in another service that goes from, I don't know, Crewe to Stafford, if I've got enough time. I imagine this multiple unit will be layered into the West Coast Main Line Trent Valley route timetable, whenever that gets made. Okay, here we are back at Birmingham. And it feels laggy already. Well, it does on my screen. I don't know about the stream. It's probably on a different level. Turn it to dimmed. The sun should be up by now, right? Oh, the train. I want to look inside. Just hope the game can cope. Oh look, we got a bit of advertising here. Fit more in this summer. London to Birmingham for just 16 quid. Hey. Now I don't know what the how the class is. You know, if this has first class or not. Judging by those seats, I think this is standard class. Because I think first class has like a little white logo of Avanti West Coast, if I'm not mistaken. So you can see a PI's display there. That works. Actually, doesn't look too bad. Actually, it's probably one of the best looking PIS screens in a train I've seen for a fair old while. Got the screen there. It says Avanti West Coast. I think they would have like a diagram showing you what seats are available and where they are in the coach. Got a disabled toilet here, which of course doesn't work. You've got the good guard door control panel, so I have to stand there. You can open it and pretend to be a guard and do all that kind of stuff if you're interested. You've got a route map here of Avanti's network. It's not high res, but at least it's displayed. Oh, another poster here. Why shall we travel? I think I've seen that turtle on roller skates in an advert for Avanti West Coast on TV. I think it was a while back. So this must be standard class still. Oh, is this the buffet coach? Is it? I presume so. Step off the train and into the city. Oh yes. Head off to good old London town. God, it's dark. Much darker here. I think it's because we're under yeah, we're undercover. The train is undercover. That's why it suddenly got a bit darker. Is this still standard class? Is it all just standard class on this unit? There's a standard toilet. It's nice to see there's a bit of branding in the train. That's one thing I criticised from the Pendolino, was the lack of branding on board. You know, advertisements. There's one person on board. At least there's someone on board at 5:20, 30 in the morning. You've got the tables there with the wireless charging for your mobile devices. I think it's all just standard class, isn't it? I swear there was a first class compartment on board. Ah, there is. There we go. Look. It's got a disabled space there. Actually, the carpet doesn't look too bad actually. It's quite high resolution. No. These are the first class seats then. Yes, they are. With their own separate table. Good morning, madam. No, this PIS... Oh no, it does work. I was going to say, I thought it didn't work for a moment. What's this one here? This is the train crew. This is where you shouldn't go. Wow, the lighting in it is fantastic. Nice. Even look at that, even food awareness sheet there. Poster for the staff. Nice touch. Yeah, it's not bad. Inside don't look too bad at all. Right, let's get back to the front and hop aboard. I'm very pleased that this service going from Birmingham to Crewe runs at this time of the morning, because it actually runs smoother the route then. Excuse me. Once again, the PIS displays are working. That's good. Sometimes it works on one route and not on another. Oh yeah, the safety systems. Check if they work on this route. I imagine there'll be a lot of empty stop moves coming into Birmingham or Crewe or wherever. Right. Let's if a train accelerate. Looks like the gangway doors there are open on that 350. It doesn't look quite right to me. Either way, let's go. Let's skedaddle out of here. On a bit of a steep grading as well, so this will give this unit a test. Oh no, I've noticed we're at a red signal. Oh well, at least we can see it move forward for like 40 odd yards. It's coping really well under 1 notch of power at this kind of grading. Yeah, the brake sounds are good. That does sound fairly realistic to me anyway. What am I doing? Contact the signal denied. Wait for the signal to change. Excuse me. Let's get rid of those names there. There might be a train on our tracks. I mean, I am going to be late because I was faffing around, looking around the train. Hopefully, it doesn't bugger up the service to put it another way. There's a train leaving the depot. Maybe that's going to come onto our track. Not sure. Or maybe that train was the culprit. I don't know. Oh no, I can see the train there in front on our stretch of track. So we'll just have to wait. Venom, hey, how are you? Nice to see you. Malaki Butler Bailey. Horn, yeah, sure. I can do the horn. No looping. Sounds pretty good. Just like it did on the other Avanti West Coast trains. Oops, put it in reverse by an accident. Oopsie daisy. Right, we got a yellow. I want to get shifting. Need to get moving. Moving on up. Let's go. Up the West Coast main line we go. So we do have an additional stop to make, and that's Wolverhampton, 12 miles away. That is a surprise to me. I've never been on Avanti West Coast trains, and I imagine some people will say it's probably best not to. But I don't know their timetables inside and out and stopping patterns, so hence why it's a surprise to me. I like the sounds the train makes going over the tracks there at slow speed. But now I've got a good idea of how the train operates and how it feels and how it works. The main reason I wanted to take this train out for a spin on this route is not only because obviously it's got a new timetable, but I want to see what the route performs like with this timetable. I can't remember the numbers as regards to the original timetable, like how many services are on total in terms of playable and AI, but I think this timetable was more services, I think, both AI and playable combined, but I couldn't find a definitive number, so I'm very curious to see how this timetable runs on this route, particularly as my first ever experience on this route 2 or 3 months back. I mean, the route was fantastic, and the timetable was good, but it just didn't run very well. So I'm curious to see how this route performs after a bunch of updates and obviously a new timetable thrown into the mix. I think it was actually within the Birmingham area where the route struggled the most. I think once you like got around, say, Sandwell and Dudley, I think the route really started to not fall apart, but really be put under some strain as regards to, you know, the performance of the route. I remember the first stream I did on this route, I think I did a 350 stopping service going to Wolverhampton, and once I left Birmingham and I think stopped at I can't remember what the station was. It wasn't Sandwell and Dudley, it was a station before, I think, and it really, like, the route's performance just fell off a cliff, and I was thinking to myself, like, whoa, I'm not going to make it, like, finish the service, because the performance was so poor. But I imagine it should perform a little bit better, surely, after a load of updates, and the fact that this service takes place in the very early morning. We'll wait and see. Harley, hey, how are you? Can you do the horn? Yes, I will. Had a few requests for the horn today. Seems the horn is the #1 factor. It's slow. That's so loud on the outside. For me, anyway. Malaki sounds like the one from East Coast Main Line. The horn does, yeah. I think it's exactly the same. We got a break. Oh my Jesus! Jiminy Christmas! Stop! 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 Oh, I don't think this is gonna go well. Come on, train! Come on! Come on! Come on! Brake! 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 Put your brakes to the test. Yeah, not bad. Not bad. Not bad at all. I don't think I've ever stopped here, so here we are. Damn, those brake sounds are good. I can't remember what the brake sounds were like before, but it sounds good, at least to me. What's over here then? Oh, we got the canal down here. We got it seems like a disused factory or industry that relied on the canal, at least. Again, the greenery around here. I forget how good this route looks. Let's see the train depart. But then again, at the next station, just up the line, there's a train, I think, that's just left. Smithwick, Galton Bridge. But we'll see how close I can get to it. Let's put the power down maximum, see what it sounds like. Sounds so good. I don't know what it sounds like in diesel mode, but in electric mode, it's on a different level to the other Class 800 units. But that's just my observation, of course. Especially under full power, it's an absolute screamer. Oh, now we're going too fast. Whoopsie daisy. We've got 7.5 miles to go, just over 7.5 miles to Wolverhampton. Our first station stop. Something doesn't seem quite right with these Class 350s on this route. I don't know what it is. It seems like their liveries are black instead of dark green. This is what it looks like to me. Maybe it's just the lighting or the time of day or something, but to me they look like black rather than black colour rather than green, dark green. To me anyway. I don't know. Maybe I need new glasses. Maybe I'm going colourblind. I don't know. I don't know. Over the canal. That'll be on the left-hand side. I think for the remainder of the journey. When who are they called? All Aboard Studios, the third-party developer that made this product, for the new route they'll be making, I imagine, immediately after this multiple unit was released to the public, the West Coast Mainline Trent Valley. I think they're going to be introducing 2 new variants of trains that we already have in the game. I think the 350 is getting a new variant. Is it? I don't know. Let me just check that actually, just to be sure. Was just like an article about it on online. I took a screenshot of on my iPad just to be sure. Where's it gone? Is that it? Yeah, it is. Okay, so well, I've got the stats here for this new route that will be released hopefully before the end of this year, if not next year, early next year. So the Trent Valley route that All Aboard Studios are constructing as we speak, I imagine. That's 108 miles, and goes from Crewe to Milton Keynes Central. And the trains I think they'll be bringing with this particular product is the Class 350-4 for stopping services, and the Class 807 multiple unit. Basically, it's another variant of the Class 800. But the difference with the 805 and the 807 is that this 805 is a bi-mode multiple unit, so you can operate this on non-electrified routes because it has a couple of diesel generators or diesel engines, and not only you can operate it on non-electrified routes, but you can obviously operate it on the West Coast Mainline, which is electrified. V807 is a pure electric multiple unit, so yeah, if you put it on a non-electrified route, it's not going to run. I was a bit disappointed that, I mean, I say disappointed, I mean, that's kind of unfair to say with regards to All Aboard Studios, but with this new Trent Valley route that's in the pipe work, I was a little bit disappointed, surprised, let's say, that they cut out a section that included Northampton. There's a part of the West Coast Main Line, or stretch of track that serves the the town of Northampton, and for some reason that's been omitted from at least the initial route concept. So yeah, for those that I don't know like to train spot in Northampton or come from Northampton expecting to see their station portrayed in the game, you're going to be a little bit disappointed. And another element that surprised me was the section that goes into Birmingham New Street itself. What stations are they? I think they're like Coventry and Birmingham International. That's been left on the chopping block as well. So that stretch of track going into Birmingham New Street, that you could briefly see portrayed on the Birmingham Cross City line, that's not being reproduced either in Train Sim World. Well, for now, at least. Right, we better start braking. But like I said, this is like very early stages of like the route being built, so I'm sure there might be a scope of change, to change the plan as regards to where the route is going and X, Y, and Z. Right, now within the city of Wolverhampton, we're just chugging along. We got a brake, got a red. Yes, I know, train, don't cry. Never mind, the train wasn't happy with my approach speed to the red signal. Oh, well, at least it works. Ding dong.
Operational.
Well, at least that works. Yeah, but again, despite this route's issues, it's a fantastic looking route. You can even see the people going about the canal. We'll have to wait until we've been given clearance to proceed into Wolverhampton. But another chance to have a look at this brilliantly made multiple unit. No blurry textures this time, so far. I probably jinxed it. It don't look bad. It don't look bad. Just see what's going on at Wolverhampton. We got one going to Liverpool. Hopefully that will run away soon. What's going on here? We got 4, looks like locomotives connected together. How bizarre. That's AI only, isn't it? Yeah. Will the game crash and burn if I take a look? I'll have a little sneaky peek, see what's going on at Wolverhampton. Well, the station, I mean. Not the city. It's a cloud plane overhead. Shame you can't actually see it. You hear planes flying overhead and helicopters, but you never actually see them. I remember, what was it, in Train Sim World 5? They were so excited of adding 2 licensed aircraft to the game, and well, they've been made redundant, haven't they? Haven't seen them again since. What's going on here? Oh, it's the Cardiff 153s. There are 4 of them connected together. Oh, don't break route if I do this. There we go. Sometimes it freezes when it does that. Thankfully not this time. Alright, let's go. Before the game shouts at me. Come on. I have forgot to acknowledge the safety system. There we go. We're off. So we're heading into platform 1 at Wolverhampton. Andrew, is the train easy to stop? It feels easy to stop. If you just use the R1 trigger, that controls the further braking side of the part of the single handle. I wouldn't say it stops on a dime, like it's just going to immediately go grind to a halt the moment you apply the brakes. It does take at least a few seconds. But what's cool about the 800s is that I'll just focus on where I'm going for the minute actually, before I speak about the power handle, brake handle further. There's a stopping board, and that isn't it? That's a 6 coach train. We have to stop right at the end of the platform, which would be here, just like that. Yeah, what was I going to say? Yeah, with the braking side of things, you can brake to a specific percentage, whereas with the power side of things, you have 4 notches of power. So the braking side of things, you can really be nice and precise when it comes to slowing the train down. Here we are at Wolverhampton. Probably my favourite station on the route. Molineux football stadium is over there somewhere. Lock the doors. Oh, we got another stop of Stafford. Wow. A few stops on this early morning service. Stafford is exactly 15 miles away. I don't think I'll do a run to Stafford from Crewe. I think I'll just do this service and call it a day. I didn't realise this service would have more than 1 stop. I thought it would just go from Birmingham to Crewe, no stops at all, but I was wrong. what a sound they make under power. So cool. Sophie, the OSS also works. You get told to contact the signaller. Oh, can you? The OSS. Is that just specifically for this unit, or is that on all the 800s? I don't know, to be honest. There's a phone here, isn't there? Oh yeah. Press the phone. Right, speed limit's increased to 90. Now we can really get up to some speed. Sophia building, Blue Tops Hill. Oh, power signal box. Oh, right. I'll have to go back to Wolverhampton and take a look in my spare time. Other than streaming. I forgot to say, I haven't done a stream for so long. If you enjoyed this stream so far and you like what you've seen or heard, then yeah, feel free to like below. And if you are watching for the first time, I'd appreciate it if you would. Yeah, consider subscribing to the channel. I'm not going to be streaming every week as I used to do. I'm now going to be saving the streams for every time I take a look at something new that I'm interested in. So aka a first look stream. But occasionally when there's like maybe a, I don't know, special event or something I feel like doing, then yeah, well, it's more like just see how I feel, really. Because I felt like, you know, just endlessly streaming every week just felt like a bit of a chore rather than actually enjoying it at times. So it's not down to you lot watching or engaging in the chat, it's just, you know, me, I think, just suffering with a bit of burnout, to be honest with you. Hence why I took a break. I wonder how long an actual journey in Train Sim World from London to Crewe via the Trent Valley route would take. If you didn't have many stops, I imagine it would take you just under 2 hours if everything went, you know, swimmingly. It's a shame that they can't connect all three routes together, but I imagine if they did that, the game would just have a meltdown. But it would be really, really cool if they could maybe do that one day. Maybe when there's like the PlayStation 10 or something like that. Oh, I got a little reward of driven 80 miles. Excellent. Andrew, wish I had Durham. Ah. Durham. Is Durham in the game? Can't remember. What's close to Durham that's in the game? I better get braking here. I'll set it to 110 and see if it is satisfied. Trying to think. Darlington's a train symbol, isn't it? Yeah, it is. Tees Valley line. Is that close to Durham? I don't know. I don't know the that side of England very well. The was it northeast, something like that? Eastern side of England. But yeah, Durham Station or Durham Station in train sim. Well, that would be nice to see. One day, maybe, be it Dovetail or third party dev. I'll bring the last of my biscuits. I think the most impressive element of this, the Class A100 trains, not only portrayed in the game but in real life, is just how fast it accelerates. It's just ballistic at times, especially from a standstill at full power. It just blitzes away. Be quite uncomfortable, mind you. Well, no, actually, no. Maybe the Avanti West Coast variants of the 800 are more comfortable. Maybe have more comfortable seats or better cushioning. I know GWR doesn't. Their seats are atrocious. They're probably one of the worst seats I've ever sat on, like ever, in my life. I've probably sat on seats in Wetherspoons that are more comfortable than them. And that's saying something. I haven't been to Wetherspoons in years, but I know that I know that the seats weren't uncomfortable. Either that or I had too much to drink. I think the last time I went to Wetherspoons, I think it was for a celebration. Like a work party or something many years ago. Maybe, I don't know. But yeah, the GWR seats are not good. I think that's the number one thing they need to tackle with it when it comes to maybe the 802s having a refurbishment under Great British Railways or whatever they're going to be called. Yeah. Comfort, that 100% needs to be top of the list for me, because I've been on those trains loads of times, going from Reading to Plymouth, down to Cornwall, to London Paddington, to Reading, and vice versa, and it's just so uncomfortable, the seats, it's awful. The only reason I use the Class 800s, especially going to London Paddington from Reading, is because of the speed, because it's quick compared to the Elizabeth line. But one thing I can't deny is that those trains, the 802s I should say, they are not comfortable. The Elizabeth line trains are far more comfortable. Bugger, it's caught me again, the safety system. even though the Elizabeth line trains don't have amenities such as toilets, for example. And obviously the 802s have more capacity as regards to seats. Okay, so we stopped at a red signal.
AWS operational.
So right, we'll just wait until we've been given a clearance to proceed into platform 5 at Stafford. Never bothered looking at the signals up close. Don't look too bad, did they? Texture on the signal itself, that's a little bit low res. Other than that, yeah, looks pretty good, pretty solid. Let me guess, that train is stopped in front of us going to Liverpool. Yeah, it is, yeah. Okay. Hopefully it won't be too much longer. There we go, release the emergency brakes there. At least the emergency brakes work and the safety systems. So that's something. Oh, it's Newcastle. Okay. Andrew, right. I had a feeling it was up and around that area because LNER trains they stop at Durham sometimes, don't they? On the East Coast Main Line. Sophie, nothing worse than an ironing board seat. Oh, horrible things. Throw them out the train and burn them. That's what I'd say. Okay, we'll be given a clearance to I'd say Stafford. Goodness me. Only on Virgin trains. Blimey, I haven't had Virgin trains in a very long time. Apparently Virgin's making a comeback to the railways. Mainly to give Eurostar a run for its money on the London to Paris and Brussels route. Was it HS1? Is that what they call it? Or the Channel Tunnel rail link? Whatever it's called this week. I think it was it called HS1 originally? Or was it just then became known as HS1 when that fancy new high-speed section to St Pancras International opened in 2007. Thought that was the wrong brake marker board there for me. Where is it? I'm just trying to keep a BDI for. I think it's at the end of the platform we got to stop at. Oh yeah, 912 coach train. There it is. I see it.
Avanti West Coast service to Holyhead. Calling at
That's me.
Chester, Flint, Prestatyn, Rill, Colwyn Bay, Holyhead. The next train to arrive at platform 1 will be the 0617 London North Western Railway. Birmingham New Street, calling at Stafford, Cambridge, Wolverhampton, and Birmingham New Street. Platform 1 for goes 617
Oops.
Birmingham New Street.
Let's go to the next and final stop, which is Crewe. Do a low shot from here. Okay. Didn't realise we were changing track. Blimey. That caught me off guard. Don't derail, train. Blimey. Maybe we can overtake this train that's been holding us up a bit. Maybe. Currently restricted to, there we go, 30. Now we can get to 110. I will give you a little bit of a rundown on, let's say, some of the DLCs I'm keeping an eye on potentially purchasing for the remainder of Train Sim World 6's life cycle. So I'll give you a bit of an idea as to when you could possibly expect a stream from me or whatever device you watch my streams on, be it live or on playback. I have to find one of those roadmap image thingamabobs, don't I? So the DLCs I'm potentially looking into acquiring when they eventually release, of course. The West Coast Main Line Crewe to Preston by Just Trains. Cannot wait for that one. This is an old school route. Maybe the DBR 145 from TSG, but I'm not sure about that one. The Class 90 by Alan Thompson Simulation, that should be a cracker. I mean, finally, another UK freight locomotive is on the way. Maybe the new route from Vector Simulations, the first route set in the Czech Republic, but I'm not so sure yet. Same goes for the Northeast Corridor, New York to Stamford by Dovetail Games. The GWR HST Farewell Pack, that depends on what the pack, what kind of liveries the pack has and how much it's going to cost. This might surprise a few of you. The Southern Pacific All Lines and Hayden Branch, an old school US route. That very much interests me because that's more of a shunting route, serving a big local industry. But the map is set within, so that interests me. By High Iron Simulations. I mean, High Iron Simulations don't exactly have the best reputation, but hopefully they can pull off a blinder with that route, because on paper it sounds very interesting. The Rhein-Neersbahn, which is a separate extension to Hauptstrecke Rheinruhr, which launched nearly 5 years ago. That interests me mainly because it's got Mönchengladbach involved, and I like the city of Mönchengladbach, very industrial city, a lot of grit about it, and there's a sense of character to it that I like, and plus I like the football team as well. Maybe the Medway Valley Line by Firefly Simulations, which is again a separate extension to Southeastern High Speed. It's not the biggest route, but I'll have a think about it. West Coast Main Line Trent Valley, 100%. When that eventually happens, that's definitely on my list of routes to pick up. And the third ever steam route for Train Sim World, the first German steam route in Train Sim World, the Neckartalbahn, Heidelberg to Neckarres, by once again Train Sim Germany. 100%, that's on my list. I mean, it's a steam route. We haven't had a steam route for donkey's years. And the first one from Germany, so might be good. It might not. But that's like a little overview of what DLCs I'm keeping my eye on to maybe purchase in the future. It's a lot, which means my wallet's going to scream and cry at me, but hopefully in that time period they'll get their act together and fix the core game, because it certainly needs it. Needs a lot of patches to the core. Well, I think they've got to find the core of the problem, if you pardon the pun. Not pun intended, but yeah, it's pretty clear that the core game itself needs a bit of work, and maybe take away some things to make it work better. Like, I think the random events thing in the Bob and the train faults thing, I mean, they're cool, but it's very inconsistent. And even some of the third-party devs, I mean, this train, for example, doesn't have any, I think, for random faults or train faults. I certainly haven't had any. I tend to turn them off anyway, but I've turned it on purposely for this stream just to see if it actually, well, does anything. And no. So I don't think having these random events and train faults added to the game, I think it is not necessary, really, in my personal opinion. Because then you question yourself: is that a bug? Is it not? Is it intentional? Is it not? You know. And the fact that not only All Aboard Studios, with the 2 packs they've released so far for Train Sim 6, they've struggled to release alongside the route via random events and train faults to their, respective stock in the game that those routes have been, been released since Train Sim World 6. So it seems to me that it's quite a bit of an effort to get it, firstly done and then pushed out to the general public. So I think random events, speed limit changes, signal failures, or train faults, I think they should be scrapped, because I think we've got to start freeing up a few things rather than just piling things on the core engine to the point where it just can't cope. The game just cannot cope. I just have this impression that Dovetail is hiding under the desk, covering their ears, hoping it all goes away, and they just pump out yearly releases regardless. Well, they're going to have to address it eventually, because if it starts to impact their sales, then they will have no choice but to address it. As the old saying goes, only time will tell. I'm not a technical expert at it, but it's pretty clear when you have elements of the game that have been broken for a long time, just left alone for years, and gets worse and worse and worse. Yeah, something has to be done about it. We've got just under 10 miles to go to Crewe. our next and final station stop. What's another analogy I could use? A dovetail burying their heads in the sand and hoping it all goes away at the beach, but it won't go away. I can't fix it for them. You can't fix it for them. They have to fix it. It's their job, it's their responsibility, it's their product after all. I'd love to help them fix it, but I ain't got a clue. I mean, they should have a bit of money. Maybe, I don't know, inquire a separate, maybe developer completely. Like, just to purely fix issues. Like, say, you're a good developer, you know Train Sim World inside and out. How about you help us fix the issues? If you can help us. Because we don't have time or we can't fix them, etc. That could work. You never know. Employ almost like a team of people to purely focus on not patching the game, but maybe not reimagining it, but maybe undoing some of the tied knots that this game seems to have got itself into. We'll see. Train like at speed, flying by. Loud. Very loud. Sounds great though. Sophie, Dovetail need to... I don't honestly know, to be honest. I don't know if changing a game engine to Unreal Engine 5 will solve everything. I honestly don't know. I suppose that's why they're probably trying out that new Subway beats Need for Speed underground game thing, you know, where you, I don't know, try and take over the city by using the subway. I don't know, whatever it is, whatever storyline it is. It kind of reminds me of like Need for Speed Underground from 2002, and just decide to put a New York subway in that storyline because it's a train game. It's the only thing they have knowledge of. But they are using Unreal Engine 5 for that particular product. I'm not going to get it, it's not my kind of jam, but it's pretty clear that they're using that as a sort of test bed to try out the Unreal Engine 5 and see how it performs. I mean, it's only a matter of time, like you said before, eventually Train Sim World moves over to Unreal Engine 5. The problem I have is that there is so much DLC and content. It's going to be pretty hard to make it all run squeaky clean on the Unreal Engine 5, especially immediately. That's going to be a tall order. I don't know how many DLCs we've got in this game. I think it's well over 100. But yeah, I'm not saying Dovetail should literally just abandon all the DLCs that have been made for, you know, on the old Unreal Engine and pretty much start again as such. But I hope they don't do that anyway. But you never know. just cruise up to the overhead signal. Just the safety systems has a go at me. See, there's the yard. Was it Crewe Bashford Hall? See, the yards are pretty empty, and I purposely left it empty just so the game can run. This route can run a little bit smoother. It feels like it runs a bit smoother. I haven't seen any blurry textures on the train itself, from what I can tell anyway. Certainly on the exterior. I'm not bothered if it's in the... Well, I'm not saying I'm not bothered. I'm obviously annoyed if it happens on the inside, but... yeah, I mean... It looks like an Avanti West Coast train, doesn't it? I've got a funny feeling it's those Class 350s that are probably causing this blurry texture issue. Because I've tried other routes and don't seem... I haven't seen it on anywhere else. But I don't know. But we're on the final approach to Crewe, just over half a mile to go. I mean, to me, it feels like the route runs a lot smoother, but that's probably down to the fact this service is so early in the morning and it's nowhere near like rush hour yet. And I've cut back a little bit on the freight side of things. I was very cautious when it came to streaming on this route in particular. I was like, how's the game going to cope? Especially if there's times there was more AI services and even more playable services. You just start thinking of like, it's going to collapse in front of you, the game, and you know, and you don't want that to ruin the stream. So I went. That's why I took the decision to cut out a lot of the freight on this route. Even just static stock in the yards, just to let it run a bit smoother, particularly at Crewe, and also Birmingham as well, with the amount of trains. I think the cross-country 170s are... I don't think I've installed them either. I'm not sure. Well, they're not on this route's timetable. But here we are, coming up to the stopping point at Crewe, which I've just missed. I just went over it. Oh well, but we made it. We made it to the end in one piece. Change power mode? Really? Oh yeah, of course, because it goes to Holyhead, doesn't it? That's not electrified, isn't it? Sugar. I don't know how to do that. It didn't say how to go to diesel mode from electric mode. I'm gonna guess. Maybe do that, and then what do? Oh no, not emergency. You can see some of the textures in here have taken the dump because of that 350. I swear to God, it's those 350s that are causing these issues with texture. See, hold diesel mode. I think it's for like a couple of seconds. I think you then press the start button. I have no idea. Is it making a sound? It's hard to tell because there's another train, 150, just over there, so it's hard to tell. Sounds like it is, isn't it? Yeah, I think the engine's running. So yeah, I think it's in diesel mode now. Hooray! See the doors there?